Hello, everyone. Welcome to New Gen Politics. So, the Canadian wildfires are still raging, and they've been happening for the last 2 months or so. So, the scope of the fires is not only affecting the local area in Canada, it's affecting all over North America. They've been negatively affecting the air quality. So, the question is, what is causing these fires? Why are they so frequent? Why are they so big? Is it a sign of climate change? What is causing them? And so a lot of people like to blame climate change, but they don't provide direct evidence as to the cause and effect of what exactly is causing these wildfires. And sometimes they'll throw out the notion that it's temperatures. Rising temperatures is causing the forest to dry out, makes them primed for catching fire, and the fires spread farther. Well, if you want to talk about temperatures, let's look at where these fires are most prevalent in North America. And two places are Canada and California. When looking at California, it's a possibility that the high temperatures cause forest to dry out. But Canada isn't exactly known for its balmy temperatures, so maybe it's not temperature. And if it's not temperature, then what else could it be? Well, the fact is, we actually already know. Lack of controlled burns. Now, what are controlled burns? Controlled burns are when you burn down segments of the forest in increments to do away with decades of brush, small plants, dead trees, all sorts of dead plant life that build up and make it way more likely that it catches fire and then that fire spreads. When you have a piece of forest after a control burn where there's trees, but there's not a lot of underlying brush, it's way less likely that fires are going to spread. And controlled burns are something that even the Native Americans were doing. And this video by USA Today explains that.
Controlled fire or prescribed fire is the method of burning certain land to reduce wildfire hazards. This method was developed by Native Americans thousands of years ago. In California, natives like the North Fork Mono tribe used fire as a tool for clearing land for farming, increased production of bushes and berries, herd wildlife during hunts, and reduced the fuel load that could cause devastating wildfires. It was these low-intensity fires, called cultural burnings, that built much of California's forests, not lightning as is commonly believed. Without controlled burns, forests would have become overgrown and unmanageable. Overgrown forests create a lot of fuel in the form of dry or dead plants.
And we've seen that Canada and California are two places with the strictest legislation on preventing controlled burnings because they say it's anti-environmental, which couldn't be further from the truth because the environment needs wildfires, which a lot of people didn't know. And that may sound like a crazy counterintuitive statement, but there's some clear, irrefutable evidence for this. And one example is jack pines. Now, jack pines are a type of conifer that grow in Northern America, and I'll let this video explain why this piece of evidence is so important to the conversation around wildfires.
Jack pine cones keep their seeds protected because they know they live in a place where there's lots of fire. So they glue these cones shut to keep the seeds safe. And scientists call that serotiny. And jack pines have serotinous cones. But how do the seeds get out of these glued shut cones?
The answer is heat. It takes about 120 degrees for at least a few minutes to melt the glue. Fire will do this. Within a few days after a fire, the cones open up and the seeds fall out.
Not only does that wildfire open up the cones, but the seeds drop down onto the ground that have been prepared just for jack pine. The fires burnt away the competing vegetation and the other pine needles and debris that might have been on the ground. The seeds germinate, and that's a perfect set of conditions for our baby jack pine.
So we can see that forest fires are a naturally occurring thing. According to CBS News, half of the forest fires in Canada were caused by lightning, and the other half were caused by humans. So there's a disproportionate amount being caused by humans. We're seeing this more and more, that a lot of the times it's just arson. And so to blame that on climate change fully is irresponsible and disingenuous. Now, this isn't an argument to say that we shouldn't look after our environment, because we very much should. And right now we're doing the exact thing that's counterintuitive to that. We're doing something that hurts our environment when we think we're helping. Forest fires are going to continue to happen, whether we allow them to happen when they're small or if we wait till all the plant matter builds up to the point where they're unstoppable. It's our choice to make on how we handle our environment. So let's all rally around the call to truly protect our environment and stop blaming all of our problems on climate change. Now that you've heard what I think, please let me know what you think down in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.